All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're here. We're watching the final of Montreal, and then we're going into the final of Toronto. Cincinnati already started. But that's okay, because usually the first rounds of these tournaments are not very good anyway. So don't worry about Cincinnati. Cincinnati starts on Saturday when everything stops and Sinner and Alcaraz and everybody plays. All right? So don't even stress. Don't worry. Don't even think about it. Pretend like it's not even happening. Just, block it out. That's what I did today. Osaka versus Mboko. This is a great matchup. Osaka trying to get the biggest title since 21 Australian Open. And Mboko, 18-year-old, trying to become a hometown champion. Very similar to 2019 Andreescu. If you remember back in 2019 when Andreescu, she won Indian Wells, but then she also went on to win Canada, beating Serena in the final in a bit of a retirement. And then they won the US Open, beating Serena in the final. So that's what Mboko is trying to achieve, is by beating a very well-established Grand Slam champion in a final of a hometown event. But what's going on? What's up? How we doing, chat? Are we ready? By the way, chat, I went out yesterday and I picked up oops. I nearly broke it. I found this. And guess what? The best part about finding this, not that I found a classic iPod that I already have one, but my one doesn't work properly, so this one works properly. It has 650 songs on it. I plugged it in, I looked at it, and it's got songs, no song after 2010. I've listened to this going, some of these songs are wild. Like late 2000 songs, crazy. It's crazy. So it's, so I was going to wipe it and then just like put my stuff on it, but then I'm like, no, I want to keep these songs because they're hilarious. I'm talking about like LMFAO, like those kind of like late 2000s, like club songs, I guess. All on this. Crazy. But yeah. So it's really sick. But it's all, I'm going to have to like fix it though, because it's a bit, I just have to buy a new, how's the battery life? Yeah, I haven't tested it out yet. I'm going to have to fix like the wheel and stuff, but hear this, chat. Ready? Listen to this. Ready? The wheel works. It makes noise. I hope you cleaned it. Of course, every time I buy something, I clean it when I get home. But yeah, that was just a gem yesterday. It was a great day. I left the house to do one thing, and I came back with an iPod. I've also an iPod Nano still running in my car from 2008. Nice. By the way, I don't know if I'm just nostalgic, but it sounds better on this as well. Listening to music on this compared to my phone sounds better. I don't know. It sounds louder. Like you can pump up the volume and it doesn't like distort. I don't know why. Blast from the past? Oh yeah. Yeah, the last time whoever owned this before, the last time they put a song on this was in 2010. It was like, because I plugged it in and I looked it up, and the last time they put a song on this was 2010. So it's been 15 years since this has been plugged into a computer and used. 15 years. 2010 was 15 years ago? That's crazy. But yeah, it's sick. So I'm going to like I'm going to get like a whole new thing for it, and I'm just going to make it like really sweet. It's going to look sick. I have my old iPod. How do I even make it work? I don't know, but if you don't want it anymore, you can send it to the PO box and I will make use of it. All right, players are ready to go. How's it not falling apart? These things, the thing is, like, pre-iPhone tech, like iPods and stuff, they last. Well, it's a little bit scuffed, but they do not. They are not made to be updated every year. So like this is awesome. I love it. It's so nostalgic. So sick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the wheel, and I'm gonna change this scraped up face, and then I'll just polish the back, and we'll be good to go. We're good to go. How was the meatball sub? Well, yeah, that's what I went out to get, and then I found this. So I had a meatball sub, and I found an iPod. It's so much fun. I have like I have a lot of old electronics in my home. $99 only USD. What, for an iPod? I have like a lot of old electronics in my home. Wait, do you use them or they just sit there? I had an iPod Nano in my car too in early 2000s. Still got it somewhere. Oh yeah. It's so cool. And then all the CDs I bought, I ended up putting them on here to add to the playlist. So there's more songs on here now, but like, it's so cool. I'm so excited to... it just feels cool too. Like, look at my phone, right? It's just like... This is what we used to use, and then this is now what we use. We have like a big slab of... and then we used to have this little screen. So fun. And then after this, I think like there was a couple of other versions, and there was like the iPod Touch, which was just basically what the phone looks like now, and then the iPhone, and then if you remember the progression, this was like, well, I think it was 2005. I think it says 2005. So this was like obviously pre iPhone, and then they updated this a couple of times, and then they made it like a big touch screen, and then they made the phone, and now that's what we've been having. Like nothing's changed for the last 10, 15 years. Nothing changed. But this has got like old, like this has got like 2000s like Eminem. It's got like just like all these club songs. It's wild. It's got games on here too. It's got games. What else we got here? So we got like Black Eyed Peas, Eminem, Flow Rider, 50 Cent, Jay Sean, 2000s Justin Bieber, Lil Wayne. What else we got? A lot of songs that I just completely forgot. Neo, Nelly. What Neo is on here? Oh yeah, classic. Owl City. Pitbull. Anyways, I'm going Osaka in 3. Who you got, chat? Let me know. It's so cool, chat. It's so fun. The return goes out by Mboko, and it's 15. Love. Can we please have commentary? The match has not started yet. Yep. Sure. 15. Love. Hey, thank you, Soul, for becoming a member, coming back for another month as a tier 3. Appreciate that. Thank you for sticking around. All right. Diana.
Him and the seeds for us are going to be confirmed.
It'll be after Cincinnati. After Cincinnati. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the Monday when the final is, or straight after the Cincinnati final on the Monday, but it's on, after Cincinnati. 15 all. A forehand rally. To the backhand of Osaka, and Mboko forehand again. The backhand of Osaka. Osaka hits... Mboko hits an error. 30-15. Turn goes the backhand of Osaka. Forehand of Mboko. As Osaka goes out. 30 all. Mboko's wrist was bothering her in the match. had an MRI scan and it was negative. Yeah, so yesterday, Mboko fell over. She tripped over and landed on her arm, her right wrist. So we'll keep an eye on that during this match as well. I don't know if she's wearing sweatbands, so I don't know if she's got it wrapped up, but we'll keep an eye on that as well. When is Cincinnati starting again? I heard the weather delay. I have no idea because as far as I'm concerned, Cincinnati hasn't even started. So I have no idea, and I'm not even focusing on Cincinnati till tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow I'm not even focusing on it because we're having a day off tomorrow. Tomorrow is a day off. And I may or may not come back on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever. Anyways, one love. 1-0. But yeah, I don't know. It's raining, and apparently I didn't even know it was raining. All right. No outside court play until 6:30 p.m. There you go. There you go. All right, and Mboko to serve. One love Osaka. As Mboko serves. Mboko has spent an extra hour on court this week over Osaka. It's been a forward rally. Osaka forehand again to the front of Mboko. Backhand Osaka on the stretch, but Mboko hit it out. Love 15. Love 15. As Mboko hits a great serve, 15-all. Diana.
Why Osaka plays better now, new coach, new me.
I know, right? She's had, I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it's already working, but yeah, straight away. First week with the new coach, and look what's happened. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As Mboko goes to 30-15. $30-15. I'm going to fault second serve. Double fault. Oh, and now she has got her wrist strapped, and she just kind of shook the wrist out. Did Mboko 30-all? So it's definitely sore. And she serves into the front of Osaka. Mboko forehand into the back of Osaka. Mboko backhand. Again, the back of Osaka into the back of Mboko. Osaka forehand, but Mboko hit it out. 30-40. If I was Osaka, I'd be hitting to the forehand a lot. Because if on the backhand, she can sort of not use her wrist as much, or at least on the right hand. But on the forehand, she has to use her right hand, right? So if I was Osaka, I'd be attacking the forehand and making her play as many shots as possible one-handed so that test that wrist out, you know? All right, 30-40. We get a fault second serve. Second serve. That was a double fault. Her serve was, that serve was over the baseline almost. She's just trying, Mboko, he's like, well, if I'm going to hit a serve, I'm going to hit it hard. And if it goes out, it goes out. That was not a nervous double fault. That was an aggressive double fault. All right. To love Osaka. There's Osaka forehand. Into the backhand of Mboko. Forehand from Osaka. Here's a winner. 15 love. As a return goes in front of Osaka. Mboko backhand in the net. Well, that would have been a good passing shot. 30 love. How bad was the fall? At first, we thought she hurt her ankle, but she yesterday when she fell over, if she didn't fall, she would have hurt her ankle, right? So she her ankle got caught, and then she fell with it. So then she didn't twist her ankle, but she landed on her arm and on her wrist to stop herself from hitting the ground, and that's where the wrist problem came from. Then she had a medical timeout during the match against Raducanu. And now her wrist is strapped. And definitely seems to at the start of this match seems like it's a problem because she's playing super aggressive. She doesn't want to play long rally. She just wants, if she's gonna feel pain, she's just gonna go for it. As a return goes in to the backhand of Osaka, Mboko wins the point. And she's hitting if you're watching this match, the way she's hitting her forehand is really strange. It's almost like she's changed the grip to hit it almost flat. Like she doesn't want to wave the wrist around and, kind of have a loose wrist. She's kind of looks very stiff. At least on that forehand, she looked like she was really trying to use her, rather than use her wrist, trying to use her arm and shoulder. Backhands are going to be fine, though, because she's going to use, she's not going to use her right hand. But, yeah, rigid. Yeah, she looks very she looks like she's not really, the forehand's not flowing, Just kind of looks very stiff on the forehand. But it's working on this rally, 40-30. Again, maybe we haven't watched that much of her, so maybe that's just how she hits forehands until we're not noticing it until now. But definitely, definitely seems like she's definitely playing aggressive. Which she has to anyway. There's Osaka backhand into the back of Mboko. Osaka on the stretch with a slice. Goes out. From 40 love to deuce. Mboko a chance to get the break back. All right, deuce. As the return goes into the forehand of Osaka. Mboko forehand again to the forehand of Osaka. As Mboko with the forehand again to the forehand of Osaka. Mboko again to the forehand of Osaka. Mboko forehand again to that Osaka forehand. Hits it in the tire. Great shot. And Mboko slices it wide. Advantage Osaka. I don't think you want to get into a slogging match with Osaka. Because she will out-hit you. She is she is a very strong player. She's not going to... you don't want to try and out-hit Osaka. It's not going to work. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. Advantage Osaka. As the return goes into the back of Osaka. And Mboko comes to the net. Osaka slice. And Mboko volleys it away. Back to deuce. The thing is, even though you don't want to hit with Osaka, aggressively with Osaka, because she'll, especially if you're just both standing there just hitting the ball, you got to move Osaka around a bit, but you still have to be aggressive. You just can't be aggressive straight to her, if that makes sense. If you're standing there and you're just going to you're going to trade forehands, Osaka's going to win the rally. But if you move Osaka around by playing aggressive, hit the ball down the line, then you got a better chance because Osaka's movement, when she's moving, she's less effective, right? So you have to be aggressive, but you can't just be aggressive the same way that she's going to be to you, All right, return goes out. Osaka holds. 3 love. All right, 3 love. Three love. All right. Did I see Wim Fizet's interview with Caroline Garcia? Kind of tells you why he's such an amazing coach, insightful. No, I haven't. I've been so. I've got like a long list of like things I have to watch. Like I have to watch Andy Roddick interviews. I have to watch I just haven't had the time because, to be honest, when I stop streaming, I don't want to watch tennis content. I want to go do other things that are like take my mind off tennis. So I haven't watched them, but they're on. I've got like a list of like 4 or 5 of things that I have to watch. And I'll watch them in like one day when I'm just kind of like sitting around doing nothing. But because we've got so much tennis going on right now, the last thing I want to do is stream and then watch interviews. Do you think Mboko will withdraw from Cincy? No, I think she'll play, but I don't think she'll. I think she might lose her first match, but I think she'll play. I think she'll play. All right, 3 love. A bit of fault from Mboko, second serve. A bit of lead on the second. Oh, so it was double fault, was it? My bad. Love 15. Didn't Garcia say she was retiring at the French Open? See, I thought that too, but no, I was wrong. She is retiring at the end of the year. It was just her last French Open. I got confused too. I thought it was her last tournament as well. Because so many players were retiring at the French Open, it just got confusing. Like Vanini and Cornet, and it just felt like the last tournament for a lot of players was French Open. But she said, no, it's her last French Open, but she's going to play. She's going to play. All right, first serve was a fault, second serve. As the return goes into the front of Osaka. And Osaka hits a wide. Sorry, Mboko hits a wide. Osaka hit it on the line. 30-15. 15-30. Fuck. I'll get these scores right eventually. 15-30. As backhand goes... No, it's a fault again. Second set. By the way, in an hour's time, we've got Shelton versus Hashanov in the final of the men's. Cam, have you had a coffee? I have not. 4-4 rally. As Osaka forehand again to the forehand of Mboko. Into the forehand of Osaka. Mboko forehand in the net. 15-40. Wim Fizet also spoke with such high regard and respect for women's tennis. Just seems like such a great person to have on your team. Oh, yeah. I mean, he helped Swiatek win Wimbledon. 30-40. But also, remember how it's so funny with coaches, right? We never hear from coaches unless we hear them we heard from Goran and people, get, we hear the bad stuff or the bad parts of coaching, or like it's always about firing the coach. But we never hear, like when the coach is doing a good job, nobody talks about them, and they don't get any credit except from the player. But it's nice to hear from coaches as well, All right, 30-40. As a backhand return goes back to Mboko. Backhand out from Osaka. Into the front of Mboko on the stretch. Osaka down the middle. Mboko backhand again, the front of Osaka. There's Mboko forehand again to the front of Osaka into the front of Mboko. As Osaka forehand again to the front of Mboko. Into the front of Osaka, who overhits it. We get to deuce. I want Osaka to win, but maybe Mboko is having first final nervousness. No, I think she's... Well, yeah, that, and also I think she's not 100% fit. Her wrist is definitely a factor, you know? All right. First serve is a let. Ben's a favorite, but Hashanov gained me as a fan, beating Zverev after serving match points. Okay. All right. Mboko serves a fault, second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Mboko. Forehand now from Osaka to the front of Mboko as Osaka forehand down the line. Mboko slices it back, but it's in the net. Advantage Osaka. Who do I want to win? I mean, I don't really... I want Osaka to win. Because I think Mboko is going to have another shot, and she's been great this week. But I think Osaka winning, and if you're Canadian, you're all going to be politely annoyed with me. But I think it's better if Osaka wins. I think Mboko is going to get a shot. She's going to have another chance. She's going to win a title this year probably. She's a lovely drop shot and deuce. But I think if Osaka wins, it's more important. It might be more important for her to win this, and also for the WTA, for Osaka to be back up the top, along with, we've got Sabalenka's fiance Gauff with multiple slams, Krejcikova as well, right? But with Osaka also in that mix, I think it's much better for WTA right now to have her up the top as well. It makes the WTA even crazier, right? Whereas Mboko's going to get a chance. She's only 18. She'll get another chance to win the title like this, and and she will become a player, right? She's got time. Whereas if she wins this now, Mboko, look, we talk about Raducanu. We talk about so many players that win like these big titles young, and then they don't go on to do anything else, and the pressure's too much and all that. So I don't know if it would be the best thing for her to win. Even sometimes players do so well so young, and then look at Andreeva, look at Gauff even, right? I mean, they did so well so young. It's great experience, but the expectation of Mboko if she wins is going to be she's going to win the US Open now. It's we shouldn't be thinking that. So again, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing for Mboko to lose, just so it doesn't. People don't get crazy about her winning everything from now on, and the expectation's a little less intense. But again, like I said, it's probably better if Osaka wins for the WTA, because having her in that mix with those players I mentioned, Osaka's possibly one of the top three most popular women's players right now, right? And she's not even been top 10 for a couple of years. So to have Osaka back in the as a legitimate threat for tournaments is going to be huge. 15 love. But again, either way, even if it doesn't really I'm saying all these things I'd rather Osaka win because blah blah blah. But if Mboko wins, it's still going to be a big deal for the WTA. It's not an 18-year-old winning a massive tournament is not good for the WTA, and especially being at home, it's a great story, All right, 30 love. Pressure is a privilege. She'll be fine if she wins. Okay, well, say that when you watch Raducanu next time. Say that when you watch Eala next time. Say that when you watch Anisimova. Be consistent. If If you truly think pressure is a privilege and she'll be fine if she wins, then you need to be maybe a little nicer to people that are not, because that's what happens, right? Eala gets to the semifinals of Miami. The second she doesn't go to the semifinals of the next tournament, she failed. Same with Fonseca, right? He does really well at the start of the year and then doesn't do so well, and everyone's like, he sucks. Again, you don't want Mboko to have the same... I don't want Mboko to go through that shit. We've got enough of that shit going on. You know? So if she wins, yeah, her fans are going to go crazy, which is great, but then it's going to breed these morons that come in and just be like, oh, but she's not actually that good. She got lucky. You know, shut up, you know? So, again, we've got enough players that just get unnecessary hate, you know, because of their results. Fonseca did win today. Yes, he did. 4-1 Osaka. How come pressure didn't get Swiatek? Is she just that tough? What do you mean? Like when she won the French in 2020? Well, it did. I mean, she didn't really go on to win much. Like she did go on. She didn't go to win. She took 2 years to win another slam. But I think the difference with Swiatek, right? Swiatek won 2020 Grand Slam. Did she win Rome in 2020 or was it 2021 was her first Rome title? I think it was. I mean, it's interesting because Swiatek is kind of, there's always an exception. I think she is one of the exceptions, right? Bro, the comments on some players' Instagrams today were insane. People are telling an 18-year-old like it isn't a challenging match. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I don't. People are crazy. I know. You know what's gonna. I mean, eventually, what's gonna happen is that like players are gonna not have social media, and they're not gonna. And fans are not gonna be able to. Fans. I'm not talking about people that do those things. They're not fans. Fans are not going to have access to the players. You know, they're not going to have access to their favorite player like they have had for the last 15 years, right? I mean, social media, yeah. Because I think the only, like, chat, we're not going to try and solve the world's problems, right, today, but social media is not going away, and I don't think there's a way, because there's no way to, it's way too difficult to filter those people. Like, you can't get rid of those people, unfortunately. There's no way. There's no. I mean, they've tried. They try, right? They try to get rid of those people, and it doesn't work. So the only difference is to take yourself out of that, and delete the socials. You know, that's the only way. Unfortunately, because you know it's not fair that the fans of those players that get those messages, which is pretty much every player. You would guess, right? Every player would get those messages. If the lower ranked players are getting them, you can just imagine what the high ranked players are getting. As with a 4-0 from Mboko, sorry, is a winner, and it's 15-0. Yeah, so I mean, just get someone to manage their social media. But most people can't afford to have a full-time coach. So how would they be able to afford to have a social media person too? Like, you know, it's not as simple as like, I mean, the high, like, yes, okay, the top players who have the funds, the money to afford to pay someone to do that, yes. But the lower ranked players who can barely get from tournament to tournament and they can't bring their coach because it's too expensive, they're not going to be able to pay someone to sort their socials. Like, you know, I don't think that's a realistic thing. Social media is how tennis players add to their income. I mean, yeah, sponsors and stuff probably rely on that, but again, it's as Mboko to win a 40-15. I just don't think there's a solution to fixing. Like, there's no way to stop people. If you're giving access to people, if you're giving access to the world, to your life and you, it's going to invite, you know, those people that are so dumb and so stupid and saying stupid things. And we can't hold them accountable because it's so easily for them. It's so easy to be anonymous. You know, there's no accountability on their part. And there won't be, you know, because the second that they start bringing in some sort of accountability and like some sort of like you have to prove who you are before you can do things, people are not going to use the site, right? People are going to, if you have to prove, oh, by the way, this is me and I am this person on this account, people are going to stop using the social media because they don't want to have that. People are scared about that stuff. You know what I mean? So again, we're not going to solve that problem. And I know you're referring to Svitolina, right? Because I saw that too. And again, we see it with so many players, and it's so disgusting people just don't understand that just because you type it doesn't mean it doesn't make a difference. Like just because you type it, like I'm just going to type this thing, send it away, and then go about my day. That still is a very hurtful thing to type. The words, you wouldn't say that to her face, right? So why would you type it? I love 15. But again, there's just no way to like, how do you not have those? How do you stop those things? I don't know how you stop those people. And I don't think blanket statement as it's all because people gambling. I don't think that's just the reason, because it was happening before gambling became widely. I mean, gambling's been a thing. Betting on tennis has been a thing worldwide in many countries for a long time. Shh, yappy. You see this, like this guy. He's just hurting my feelings, calling me yappy. Why don't you shut the hell up, mate? Because this is not concerning you. You're part of the problem. Be nicer. It's fucking Thursday. Love 15. And then Osaka hits a winner. It's 15-0. Sorry, that's okay. I forgive you. But you're proving the point, brother. Like, come on. Yeah, I don't know how they... Like, again, I don't know how they fix it. It's Friday? No, it's Thursday. I'm trying to appeal to the rest of the audience, not just the Australians. The 3 Australians in the chat. As that goes the net from Mboko in 30-15. I guess the only thing we can do, chat, our part, is like we can play our part, right? And discourage people from doing that and like call people out for doing that shit. We can't fix the problem, but we can help. We can stop. We can not be a part of the problem, right? And I know none of you would do that. I know no one here is going out there and I would hope not. If you are, you shouldn't be here because we don't want you here. If you're someone who goes out there and DMs players and abusing messages and shit, like if you do that, we don't want you here. 40-30. But we can hopefully bring light to it. I don't know if it makes any difference though. We can make people aware of it, that it is a problem. All right, 40-30. As the return goes into the backhand of Osaka. Mboko forehand. Into the forehand of Osaka. As Mboko again with the forehand. Into the forehand of Osaka. Mboko down the line of the backhand of Osaka. Osaka on the net. We get the deuce. All right. Mboko's worked her way into this match despite not having the greatest start. Speaking Spanish, bro. Nope. That's sorry. That impossible. All right, deuce. Serve from Osaka. Into the back from Mboko. Return goes out, and it's advantage Osaka. Advantage Osaka to stay up the break. We had a fault second serve. As we serve into the forehand of Mboko, and Osaka hits a forehand wide, and it's deuce. All right, let's move on and try and lighten the mood because it's a little heavy. Deuce. As a return goes in the forehand of Osaka. Mboko hits it wide on the pass. And it's advantage Osaka. Advantage Osaka. Mods, can we just start throwing hammers? All right, advantage Osaka. As it is served now the forehand of Mboko. Backhand it from Osaka. Into the forehand of Mboko as Osaka forehand to the backhand of Mboko. And Mboko hits it out. And Osaka with the 5-2 lead. Okay. All right. All right. Is it a good match? Sounds like a lot of unforced errors. I mean, we'll find out at the end of the set how many errors and winners we've had, but it's been a tense match, so close match, so that's good. Thanks, Deb. Appreciate it. By the way, chat, what do you guys got planned for? Anyone got any cool plans for the weekend? Any plans? Any good? Anyone doing anything fun? Let's see what everyone's up to on the weekend. Tomorrow is Saturday in my world, and because we're not watching anything tomorrow, I'm going to try and do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but football tournament, nice. Camping, cool. Anime convention, that's great. I'm going to a flight to Belgrade. Nice. All right. Mboko, 15 love. Going to Cincinnati for the weekend. Cool. Lake Michigan Beach. Going to see Weapons. Yeah, I'm going to try and see that today. I'm going to go to the dock today for my finger, but I want to go see Weapons today as well. It came out yesterday, but I just didn't have the time. Oh, damn it. It's either I watch it at 11 o'clock in the morning, so in like an hour or 2 hours. Oh, maybe I'll get to that one. Then I'm going to go might have to go to the later session. But yeah, I want to go see that too. It looks hectic. 15 love. As Mboko in the net, 15 all. Did I get my butter chicken? No, I'm saving the butter chicken for tomorrow. I'm attending 2 funerals. Oh, that's sad. Chat, I think we can all agree that they are the worst thing. Like in the world, it's one of the worst things ever. What is Weapons? It's a movie. So apparently it's a horror movie, which came out today. 30-15. Edmonton Folk Music Festival. Excited to see the Roots with Questlove. Ooh, that sounds fun. Is hectic a compliment in Australia? No. It's just a word. 30-15. As Mboko hits it out, 30-all. What happened to my finger? I sliced it on my kitchen exhaust fan. As a return goes the forehand of Mboko. Forehand from Osaka to the forehand of Mboko. And Mboko hits it long. All right, 30-40, set point. Set point for Osaka. As the return goes in front of Mboko, she overhits it. There's the first set, 6-2. First set goes to Osaka. Okay. All right. First set, is in the bag. Nine winners, 22 errors from Mboko, 7 winners and 9 errors from Osaka. Osaka's serving was a lot better, didn't face a break point. But Mboko's hitting a lot of errors. And look, there's a combination, I think, of nerves, for sure, at the start of the match, but also that wrist problem is probably forcing her to play more aggressive than she would like. And I think maybe a combination of that is the reason why that set went the way it did. Okay. All right. All right. My dad and I are supposed to go to Cincinnati on Monday, but right now the real feel that day is supposed to be 101 degrees. So we're having second thoughts. Yeah, that's brutal. That is brutal. Did I say 22 errors? Yes. 22 errors. 4 double faults. I'm waiting to buy a ticket until I know when Sinner is playing a night session. Okay. He might play Saturday night because the top half of the draw is playing today. Maybe. Yeah, so he's playing. He might play Saturday. He's going to play Saturday, but he could play Saturday night. Sinner versus Gallen. Saturday night, or he will play on Monday. So I'm looking here. So Fritz is playing on Saturday. Maybe Fritz. I mean, Tiafoe's playing Saturday. He usually gets a nice session as well. So maybe he might. And Tommy Paul as well. I mean, Sinner might play night session. Now, you know what? Sinner will do what Djokovic does, and that's play in the afternoon. He won't play night session until he has to. Sinner seems to do that. He seems to not play night session until he absolutely has to. Reluctantly so, because everyone has to play night session usually, eventually. Sinner will probably play afternoon on Saturday. Also, time zones. You've got to remember that, like, if you start on Saturday, 7 p.m. in Cincinnati, it's going to be like midnight in Italy, so they probably don't want to. The broadcast will probably want Sinner during the day so that they can get the Italians to watch. So I don't think you've got me on mute. But seriously, mate, can we get a vibe check on court? No, it's not that I've got you on mute. It's just that, Andrew, you type a lot of words. You type like 5 lines of text. But also, and you literally did it now. But also, like, there's like 2,000 people type in the chat. So I can't read everything. All right, Mboko hits a winner. And it's 15-all. Is it a forehand rally? Backhand from Osaka to the forehand from Mboko. Osaka backhand again, the forehand from Mboko. Is Osaka forehand into the back of Mboko on the stretch. And Osaka puts it away. 30, 15. You going to the thrift store shopping today? Well, yesterday when I got this, where the place I found this also had $1 CDs. So I bought like 7 CDs because they had some really good ones. I bought a bunch of CDs as well because you got to put CDs on this thing, right? Or buy them from the Apple Store, but you know. As that goes out by Osaka, and it's 30-all. I found 2 good Charlotte CDs, and then like a couple of compilation mix kind of CDs. If you remember those, like from back in the day when they used to play like the best of 2002, and you have like a whole bunch of random songs. So I got that as well because I think those are the gems you find. You know, you listen to those like. Autumn 2008. And you're like, oh, I forgot this song existed. It was great back then. Anyways, 40-30. I think today I'm on the hunt for a CD rack because I don't have a CD storage unit. So I need to find one. All right, 40-30. As it a forehand rally, Osaka again goes down the line, but it's in the net. We get to deuce. Doesn't it take an SD card? What, my iPod? No, it takes. It does not take an SD card. All right, we get the deuce. You got to load the songs through iTunes. Which I haven't had to do for years. I'm just looking at my iPod, though. Not worked in years. As in, it doesn't work, or you haven't charged it. As return goes into the forehand of Osaka. Osaka in the net. All right, advantage. Mboko. Advantage Mboko to take the break to start the second set. As the return goes in the front of Osaka, Mboko puts up a lob. Osaka with the forehand as Mboko gets over the backhand to the backhand of Osaka. Osaka in the net. By the way, I don't think Osaka appreciated that the crowd were getting very loud throughout the entire point. Mboko was doing very good defensively, but the crowd were very, very disruptive in that point. And I don't think Osaka appreciated that they were cheering before the point was even half over. She kind of just stood there and looked, and it's like, yeah, they were very loud. They were getting a little bit too excited before the point had ended. Especially on the lob. When Mboko hit the lob, they started going, oh, yeah! And then Osaka's trying to hit a shot, and they're all, like, screaming. So I think Osaka was a little bit... wasn't happy with that one. It was a little much. But Mboko has the break now. Mboko with the break. As Mboko serves a fault, second serve. As the return goes out by Osaka, and it's 15-love. A bit too much noise during the point. Yeah. They were just getting a little bit overexcited. First serve is a fault, second serve. There's a forehand rally that goes in the net from Mboko, and it's 15-all. 15 all. All right. 30-15. Only Wimbledon crowds are well behaved, but some players prefer the noise and party atmosphere. I think less players prefer that. Only a couple of players like that atmosphere. I think most players do not. All right, double fault, 30 all. As Mboko hits it in the net. And Osaka with a break point to get back on serve. As we return now to the forehand of Mboko. Osaka backhand. Into the backhand of Mboko. Hits it in the net. We're back on serve. 1 all. 1-1. Who do you think likes that atmosphere? Probably players that, like, if it's their home crowd, they'll love it, right? If you're playing at home, you want the crowd to be going crazy and on your side, right? Obviously. But if you're playing in that environment, or if it's a neutral ground, then it's, I mean, yeah. If you're playing against a player that does that, that's when it's really like, you know, you hate it even more because you're like, you were expecting it, but you're also like, oh man, can't they just respect me a little bit? 1-1. As the return goes to the backhand of Osaka. Backhand out from Mboko is a winner. Love 15. But it's the players that don't find that stuff distracting or like a problem. Or they go in expecting it and then they, you know, you just kind of don't. Because if you, as soon as you react to that environment, that's when you start to lose. You know, because then they got in your head. You know. So you don't want to. You definitely don't want to. You definitely don't want to react to it because that's what the crowd is hoping for. You know. All right, forehand to forehand. Now we get a backhand on the stretch from Osaka, and she hits a winner. It's 15 love. Sorry, 15 all. 15 all. Fifteen all. As we have a fault second serve. Second serve. Into the back of Mboko. Forehand from Osaka. There's Mboko backhand. Into the forehand of Osaka. Is Mboko forehand again. Is a winner. 15-30. 15-30. Mboko with a chance to break again. 15-30. Now we get a fault, second serve. Second serve. As the return goes the backhand of Osaka. Mboko forehand into the slice of Osaka, but Osaka to wide. Osaka thought it was out by Mboko, but Osaka, Hawkeye said it was in, so Osaka has no argument there. 15-40. Oh, that was close. That was close. But Hawkeye said it was in. As Osaka serves. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Serve in the front of Mboko. Return the nets. 30-40. As Osaka serves again. Into the back of Mboko. Return goes to the front of Osaka. Mboko forehand. Again, the front of Osaka. As Mboko goes again, the front of Osaka. Osaka on the net. There's the break. 3 breaks to start this second set. 2-1, and Osaka's starting to get really pissed off. Which is unlike her. She doesn't usually get annoyed. All right. 2-1. Mboko. All right. How we doing, chap? How many sets has Raducanu lost? 7-5 or 6-7-6 this year? That's happened so many times recently. I know, right? Brutal. It's happened in the last couple of tournaments for sure. Osaka got some false confidence from that first set. No, I don't think so. I think Mboko's settled in. It's definitely not as easy. I mean, maybe Osaka had an easier first set because there was a lot more errors coming from Mboko, but Osaka, yeah, not happy. Throwing the ball at the racket. Did you see what happened with Shelton and Caboli versus Caboli? Yeah, but I mean, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so they had a chat at the net, and it went for like there was a long discussion. I mean, who cares? I don't think like it wasn't a big. It's not a big deal. People making it out to be like some big deal. Nobody who gives a shit. One guy thought the other guy made a gesture, and he's like, "What the hell was that about?" And the other guy's like, "It wasn't towards you. I didn't do that." And he's like, "Okay, man. You know, they were just trying to. They should look. They probably should have spoken in the locker room, but who cares? Who cares? It's not a big deal. It's a slow news day if that's a big deal. It's not like either of them insulted each other. They didn't fight. They didn't start throwing fists. It was just Shelton being like, "Hey, bro, what the hell was that about?" And Caboli was trying to explain. Remember, Caboli is second language English too, right? So it's always going to be hard for somebody whose English is not as good as the guy who's you're talking to, right? I mean, imagine if Caboli was speaking Italian to Shelton. Shelton wouldn't be maybe not as understanding as well, right? So Caboli was trying to. No, it's not. Who cares? They probably talked out in the locker room. They sorted it out in the court. Who cares? I know people like hate Shelton anyway, in general. So it just gave them a reason to not like him even more. But to be honest, it was not. Who cares? Nobody. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. we've seen worse. There's been worse. It was not a big deal. There's been way worse. Medvedev Tsitsipas Miami 2018 was way worse. 30-15. All right. Mboko gets the 40-15. $40-15. $40-15. As a return goes in the backhand of Mboko. Osaka slides back. Into the forward of Mboko. As Osaka backhand again, the forward of Mboko hits in the net. And it's 40-30. 40-30. As the return goes to the front of Mboko. Osaka backhand. Again, the front of Mboko. As Osaka with the forehand. Again, the front of Mboko. And Mboko hits it out. We get the deuce. We get to deuce. Don't we want entertaining characters in the sport? Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not saying like... I mean, wait, are you saying that to me or people in the chat that don't like Shelton for doing that? Anyways, Osaka too strong, advantage. I really don't... I don't care if, it's not a story, like, it's not a big deal. And look, if that sort of thing isn't what you think tennis should be, then that's fine. That's okay. I don't think tennis should be fighting at the net every time either. Or having an argument on court, every time. I don't want to see that all the time. It would get tiring. But it's fine. I don't mind Shelton stepping up and standing up for himself and, calling out. Because whatever Caboli made a gesture, if it was towards Shelton, then they have a problem, right? Shelton's not going to sit down and be like, I'm just going to, Shelton's going to stand up for himself, and that's fine. And Caboli's like, no, I wasn't, I'm just clarify, it wasn't about you. So it wasn't to you, so I have no problem with that. 2-2. As to the back end now into the front of Osaka. Front from Mboko. And Osaka again, the front of Mboko. Osaka on the stretch. Into the front of Mboko. Again, the front of Osaka. Mboko forehand again at the front of Osaka as Mboko slicing the nets. 15 love. I did like the not everything's about you shade from Caboli. Yeah, look, Caboli ain't going to lie down either, so that's fine. It's two guys that just going to stand up for themselves, explaining, just trying to clarify things. Again, there's a bit of a language barrier. I had no problem with it, and I don't think if anybody did, I get it, but personally, I do not care. 15 all. $15 All right, serve again. As it a forehand rally. Another one from Osaka goes wide. Had 4 breaks to start this second set, by the way. $15.30. $15.30. As Osaka serves again. Return goes in the backhand of Osaka. Forehand from Mboko. Into the backhand of Osaka on the stretch. Mboko backhand cross-court winner. 15-40. Here we go again. 15-40. By the way, Shelton and Hashanov start in about 20 minutes. Unless it's raining in Toronto or something. But as that goes out by Osaka. Another break. 5 breaks. 5 breaks to start us off in this second set. Okay. Yep, 5 breaks and counting. That's it. They're not making you work hard as a commentator today. Yeah, it's been not much to go crazy about. All right. 5 breaks in a row to start the second. Osaka very annoyed. Yeah, she is. Yeah, because she was serving great. She didn't get broken. She didn't even face a break point in the first set. Now she's been broken 3 times in a row. That sucks. Is it windy? Nobody can hold serve at this tournament. No, it's not windy. I don't think we can blame that. Even putting Saber and Collins brings some interesting fun to the tour. Yeah, for sure. Sure, the worst thing we could do is nerf all the players to make them all the same and all very like you gotta have in 2025 personalities are we can't rely on just great play because that's what the GOAT era ruined tennis because we all expected like this high quality tennis but respectful rivalries. But some rivalries are great not because the quality of the tennis is high, but because there's a story behind them, why they are rivals, right? We can't expect everybody to be Sinner and Alcaraz and have this amazing quality of tennis and be friendly. Sometimes we need the lower quality tennis, but also there's the rivalry is more about between the players rather than the epic matches. Because, we're not. If everybody was Sinner and Alcaraz, then nobody would be Sinner and Alcaraz, right? So we can't be like, oh, everybody should be like this way or that way. We can't expect everybody to play high quality matches all the time. So we need to have rivalries that don't rely on aren't just about the tennis. The quality might not be as high, but the intense and the tension between the players, that's what brings the heat and what makes it interesting, I'm not saying they need to fight and yell and scream and swear at each other. Just that tension that, like Swiatek Collins, right? They don't talk about it. They don't talk to each other all the time. They don't always argue even Collins doesn't argue all the time. But every time they play, it's like tense. We can tell that, this is a little awkward. But it's always so interesting, right? Because, because of that reason. The matches aren't always high quality. It's not like, they're not the best matches of all time, but it's just that tension that makes it interesting. All right, 30-15. To me, it makes it interesting. Maybe not to everybody. There's a forehand backhand rally. Another forehand on the stretch from Mboko. Osaka backhand in the net. 40-15. Rune versus Shelton would be fun. Yeah, I want to see Rune Shelton at the US Open with the crowd. I feel like that would really get things going. Rune versus Shelton, US Open, 4th round, night session on like a Saturday. That'd be crazy. That's 5 sets, and probably because both those guys don't back down. Like if someone chirps, the other one's going to chirp back, right? There's going to be a lot of yapping. That could be really fun. Have they ever played? Rune Shelton. They must have played once, right? I think they played once. Yeah, they played back in Acapulco 2 years ago. It was 3 sets when Shelton was just coming up. I mean, I wouldn't mind a Rune Shelton US Open 4th round. I don't know if we can get it. Can we get that? Maybe. Oh, yeah, we can get that if they're both within the top, if they're both between 5 and 14, right? And Mboko holds 4-2. I kind of love that. What about next week? Can we get it next week, or are they not in the same section? Where's Rune and Shelton next week? Rune and Tiafoe. Okay, Shelton's down the bottom. Shelton Medvedev could be a 4th round. I'd love that. That'd be fun. All right, 4-2 Mboko. She holds serve. First hold of the set. All right, love 15 Mboko. Settled down. And the wrist doesn't seem to be an issue now, which is good. Because that was a problem we were worried about at the start. All right, forehand into the backhand of Osaka, backing up from Mboko. There's Osaka forehand in the net. Love 30. And the crowd are cheering every shot Osaka misses, and I'm sure she is not appreciating that. All right. As that goes out by Osaka, it's love 40. All right. And Mboko with a return winner, and that's it. She's up 5-2. And she's going to serve to take us to a 3rd. All right. Mboko takes control. Osaka hasn't held serve in this set, which is crazy. Osaka is old now and a mum of a baby. Okay, that made no sense. Just because you have a baby doesn't mean you're old. You can have a baby at like 20. Osaka needs to stop letting the crowd get to it. The crowd is definitely part of the reason. For sure. Mboko is also... Mboko's like, that was so fast. That return was so fast. I love it. She was shocked by her own shot. She just like, ooh, I'm good. But yeah, but also Osaka is, so Mboko's playing a lot better than the first set. She's limited the area, so it's harder for Osaka to win points now. She was getting so many easy points because of Mboko's game was not up to scratch in the first set. Has a wild card ever won Montreal? I'm not sure. Crowd was cheering while Osaka was hitting the ball. I think that affected Osaka that last era. Yeah, well, Osaka is definitely struggling with this crowd. For sure. She's definitely struggling with this atmosphere. That's not against her, but not... But that is, it's not against Osaka. It's just that they're supporting Mboko even when Osaka makes an error. When Osaka double faults or Osaka hits it in the net, Mboko is getting cheered because the crowd's excited for Mboko to win points. They're not they're not happy that Osaka made an error. That's not the point. But when you're playing against players, like when you're playing in this atmosphere, some players take it personal, right? They do take it personal that, oh, I did a double fault and you cheered. And players take it personal because it doesn't happen very often that you play in an atmosphere where the crowd is so one-sided that everything you do is exciting for them because it gives their other person a point. And you got to remember as well, Osaka also had a very tough experience at the US Open, which is one of the craziest crowds in 2018, right? The Serena incident, the whole Serena thing. I know that was a long time ago now, but that also happened. And, maybe there's a part of that that this is reminding her of that, of that one-sided crowd support and that, she's feeling like they're against her. And Mboko, by the way, has hit 3 double faults, 15-40. And Osaka just doesn't look interested at the moment. She kind of just looks like, whatever. She's got to snap out of it if she's going to be, she's going to win this match. Osaka looks like totally checked out. She does not look like she wants to be there at all. Second serve to the front of Osaka. She slaps it down line for a winner, and there's a break back. I mean, that reaction or non-reaction says it all. Osaka gets a return winner and just kind of goes, whatever. Like, Osaka looks very... I don't even know if upset's the word. She doesn't look upset. She just looks very... I don't know. Just doesn't look happy to be there. She kind of looks annoyed, but more like in a sad way. All right. Yeah, disengaged. That's a good one. Yeah, disengaged for sure. All right. 5-3. As the return goes in the net from Mboko, and it's 15-love. Yeah, it's definitely negative body language for sure. I don't think she looks annoyed. She looks more... If she was annoyed, she'd start, being fired up. She looks like... She doesn't look annoyed in the sense that you would think that it would motivate her. She just kind of looks... she looks disinterested. Disengaged. She hits a winner, though. 30-love. I would rather her be annoyed, because that way you would think that she would be annoyed and then she would try and fight. She doesn't look like she's up for the fight. She doesn't look pissed off. That's the thing. Again, if she looked pissed off, you would think that she would channel that into trying to, come back and shut the crowd up. She doesn't. She doesn't seem like that at all. It seems more just like, yeah, she just seems like a little bit like, well, whatever. If you don't want to cheer me, then I don't want to play. Kind of like she's kind of like, I mean, she just double faults massively. She's definitely going through some shit right now, Osaka. Up in her head. 40-15. She's got to snap out of it, though, because otherwise she's going to lose this set. Again, she's just hitting massive serves, and she's like, whatever. But she's got to snap out of it because, I mean, if we go to a third set and this crowd start getting back on, she might be down a break in the third, and then all of a sudden it's too late, Is this where I'd rather her get pissed off? This is where, and it's not in her nature, right? It's it's easy to say, oh, she should do what other players do. It's not in her nature to turn around and be like, no, fuck you, crowd. You're the worst. I'm going to beat your player now. That's how some players would react, right? Be like, all right, you want to cheer against me? Well, fine. I'm going to shut you up. But she's not like that. She's not that aggressive and she's not that confrontational, right? But it would be cool to see that right now, That'd be great to see that if she turned around and was just like, no, I'm winning this match. Shut up. I would love that. But I don't think she's got it in her because it's just not her personality. It's not what she does. Can you stop swearing? My parents are around me. I'm sorry. This is a place for adults. So if your parents are around and you're a child, you should leave. All right, they're talking about the serves. Mboko talking to the coaches about her serve, I think. All right, Mboko serving to take the second. All right, here we go. Umpire needs to give the crowd a warning. It's getting out of hand. I mean, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I think it's borderline. I don't think it's over the line yet, where the crowd is like cheering first faults and yelling during points as much. But it's very close to being a little bit over the top too much, almost. Double fault on Mboko, love 15. As Osaka in the net with a return, 15-0. Osaka's got like her shoulders are slumped, her head's down, her racket's like just hanging off her arm. That's the body language that Osaka is displaying, and she's just trying to hit return winners. Osaka, like she's not trying to. She doesn't look, ready to go. She just kind of just like, whatever, smack a winner. Okay, cool. Hit an error, whatever. Like that's the body language. And she hits a backhand long on the return, 30-0. But she has to snap out of it if she's winning this match right now. She needs to snap out of it. All right, now she's jumping around a little bit. Okay. As we get a let from Mboko. Serve. Into the front of Osaka. Return goes back into Mboko. Osaka back on the stretch. There's Mboko forehand again. The front of Osaka. Into the front of Mboko. Osaka backhand cross court. Mboko gets it back. Osaka backhand again. Goes out. And it's 40-30. Set point. Mboko to take us to a third. 40-30. Mboko to take us to a third. As a return goes into the backhand of Mboko, backhand from Osaka down the line. There's a great shot. Mboko gets it back. Osaka forehand cross court goes long. We're going three. Mboko takes the set. And we're going to a third, eventually. It was an ugly set from both, but Mboko just does enough. All right, 6-4 in the second. Okay. And Osaka's leaving the court, which is a smart move to go compose herself for a final set. That is a smart move from Naomi Osaka to just leave the court and reassess things. All right, let's start the Shelton Hashanov match because that is about to begin as well. In that set, by the way, 8 winners, 17 errors from Mboko, but the errors from Osaka, 4 winners and 19 errors. So Osaka's errors went through the roof, but that's mainly because of her, I guess, her attitude towards that second set. After the terrible amount of breaks at the start, but also the crowd maybe getting involved and her not having fun with that. All right, we're going 3. No way Zverev lost yesterday. Yep, he lost. He did lose. All right, what's going on? Welcome. We've got a doubleheader going on for Canada and the men's final. Hashanov taking on Shelton is our match. We've got the third set of the ladies coming up between Osaka and Mboko. And then, of course, the men's final as well. So stay tuned. Also, stuff going on in Cincinnati. I have no idea what's happening in Cincinnati, but it's apparently started. So we'll keep an eye on that, I guess, if there's any results. But yeah, what's going on with the room redesign? I moved furniture around to make better use of the space for my living situation. But I'm going to move the room around again, so don't get comfortable. Pardon me. All right. Bathroom break etiquette equivalent to second set reset. Well, hopefully. Feast withdrew from Cincy? Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Did you frame all the shirts? I did. I just haven't put them on the wall. How dare you move stuff? I know, right? I'm so sorry. Final set will be one-sided. One of them will collapse in my prediction. I don't know. I don't think Mboko is going to collapse. And I think Osaka will recover. I'm thinking it's going to be a lot more competitive. Keep us on your toes with the change that room. Yeah, I just got to, yeah. All right. But here we go. Final set about to commence. We're just waiting for Osaka to come back in the bathroom. The players are about to come out on court for the match over in Toronto as well. So it is all happening. I don't know, but I have a lot of confidence in Mboko. She seems so much more comfortable compared to Osaka. Yeah, that's because of the crowd. I think Mboko played slightly better than the first set, so she got a little better, but the crowd, I think, it goes hand in hand, right? If Mboko doesn't play better, the crowd don't get involved, and Osaka probably takes the second. But because of the crowd getting involved, because Mboko started to get some wins, get some games, and started to win, the crowd started to get involved, and I think that started to really get, because they were starting to get involved to the point where they were cheering errors, right? And that's when some players get really pissed off at that. And Osaka was definitely not happy with it. It seemed like she was unhappy with that. But then also, it's one thing to get annoyed by that, but it's almost like she kind of was just like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. If you're not going to be nice to me, then I'm not going to bother. Like, it's kind of had that kind of vibe. Like, kind of giving up, in that kind of way, It's like, well, fine. If you don't want to cheer me, then I don't even care. And it's like, she took it really personal. And that's the thing you don't want to do in this situation, right? You don't want to take it personal, because otherwise it's going to be, then you're fighting two people, So let's see if Osaka, after that bathroom break, can readjust. By the way, chat, and we talked about it at the end of the set there. Remember, Osaka went through a terrible experience in her first Grand Slam final, playing Serena, where, it wasn't a similar thing, but she was playing against Serena in New York, and the crowd were going crazy for Serena. There was obviously that controversy with Serena and the umpire, and Osaka, was involved in that. She was in that, and you got to think maybe that's playing on her mind, but this is a way to kind of going through something like, well, not something like that, because it's not really the controversy like that, but for Osaka to go through this kind of cauldron of, again, this kind of atmosphere again, if she can get through this match and get through this situation, I think it would be a huge step for her. After what there was even in Indian Wells, there was people heckling her in Indian Wells a couple of years ago, which didn't go down well. She didn't appreciate that, and it affected her a lot. So I think that she's down love 40 now, but this is a moment where this could be something to show, like, okay, she might not win this match. She's playing way too fast too, Osaka. She's just trying to play so quick, and she's hitting so many faults. She's just trying to play yeah. Love 40. And she double faults again, and that's it. Mboko holds. Osaka is just not interested. She is struggling. She is struggling. But I see this as like a moment to be like, you know what? Show everybody that, you know, that you've grown, you know, and use this as an opportunity to go, okay, I've been here before. It sucks. I hate this. I'm feeling shitty. I don't like this. I hate that everyone's against me. You know, I don't like it. I feel like everybody's hating on me right now. You know, try and use this as an opportunity to go, okay, but I'm gonna win this time. I'm gonna get through this one. I'm not gonna, you know. But again, it's hard to think that way when you're in it, right? When you're in the hell of it, you're not thinking, no, you're just thinking, you just feel sorry for yourself. You just feel shitty. And the only way Osaka's going to win this match if she keeps feeling, being like this is if Mboko gets nervous, which could happen. But Osaka needs to, if she loses, I would be interested to hear what she has to say. Either way, I'd be interested. We're going to hear what she has to say in the post match ceremony anyway, right? I love 30. And I have said before, Chad, it's always really not great to get a break early in the final set when you're in a new situation like this, because you get a break in the final set. If it's early, it's like you still got a long way to go to win this title. And Mboko's still got a long way to win this title. 15-30. Sheldon and Hashanova hit the court, by the way. They're just warming up. No, 15-30. A fault second serve. If I was coaching Osaka right now, I would start, and I know it's not in her nature, but I'd be like, get angry. Get angry. Fight this crowd, you know? Get angry at them, you know? Get pissed off at the crowd, you know? As Mboko in the net, it's 15-40. I'd be like, get angry, you know? Don't get sad, get angry. Because they're trying to take this title from you. Like, this crowd are trying to rob you. Get angry at them. Pissed off at them, you know? Don't let this crowd rob you of a trophy. As with a fault second serve. Second serve. Double fault. There's that nerves. All right. Osaka gets a gift. It's 1-all. I want to see angry Osaka. Yeah, get pissed off. And I know it's not in her nature. It's not her thing, right? It's not what she would. It's not how she does it. You know, that's not how she goes about her career. But in this situation, it's like you've got to get angry because this crowd. They're not your friend. They're here to rob you. Don't let them. You know. All right. First serve is a fault. Second serve. As the return goes into the net from Mboko, and it's 15-love. And then in the press conference, apologize to the crowd that you were being yelling and screaming. Like, you can still come out of this match. You can still come out of this match with fans. The crowd can, with the crowd on your side. You've just got to, you yell at them now, but then in the post-match, you just say, hey, I apologize. I'm sorry that I beat your player, and I'm sorry that I yelled at you. And they'll be like, oh, it's okay. It's Canada. They're lovely people. The Canadians are lovely. They're not going to hate you if you win. 30-love. 30-love. As with a serve is a fault. Second serve. As we return now to the backhand of Osaka. Backhand of Mboko. That's a beautiful shot. Inside out backhand winner, 30-15. 30-15. Why is Osaka not chatting with her coach between points? I think she's just, it's all insular. Like she's in like in her head, you know. As the return goes to the backhand of Osaka, down the line's good to the forehand of Mboko. Osaka with a forehand, Mboko slices it back, and Osaka backhand again. Mboko hits a slice forehand again. Osaka on the attack, hits in the net. 30-all. It's a good defense from Mboko. All right, 30-all.
I want a third. Hi, Cam.
We're going to 3. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Romain. Thank you for the donation as well. Appreciate it. All right.
6699 flag FR.
Thank you. All right, 30-all. As the backhand out of the forehand of Mboko. Forehand from Osaka. It goes out. And Mboko's got a break point, 30-40. All right. Shelton versus Hashanov. It's about to start. They're cheering Osaka's mistakes. Yeah, but that's going to happen. And see, that's the thing, chat. You're not going to be able to... Like, Osaka can't stop them from cheering against her. But she can stop how she reacts to them cheering. And she just got a warning for hitting the ball into the crowd. So Osaka is also now getting the umpire on her against her. Second serve, the forehand of Mboko. Backing from Osaka. Is out. There's the break. 2-1. And yeah, Osaka is... I mean, even the crowd... I mean, you don't want to... Don't get a code violation. The crowd's going to... Don't give them a reason to cheer. All right, Mboko 2-1. But you're not going to stop the crowd from cheering for and against... You know, you're not going to stop that. You can stop how you react to it, though. And again, easier said than done. Much easier said than done. But I'd rather her just get angry. You know, get mean. And then apologize afterwards and be like, I'm sorry that I was so angry. And then they'll be fine. The crowd are not going to hate you forever if you win this match. Like, or if you get angry at them. They started it. They started it. All right. Shelton, 15 love. He serves. Who you got, Shelton? I've got Shelton. I'm going to go Shelton in a couple of tie breaks. Shelton is a forehand winner. 30 love. It feels like this has been Shelton's week. Best way to shut the crowd up is let your tennis do the talking. Yeah, but if you're hitting errors and your tennis isn't working, you've got to maybe resort to getting yourself out of the funk first, you know? Because unfortunately, Osaka's tennis is not helping her get out of this mess. So she might have to scream a little bit, get a little angry, get a little loud. Again, not in her personality, but still. 40 love, Shelton. Shelton serves. A 233 ace down the tee. Shelton is ready. I love Ben Shelton. Chat, I'm not afraid. I'm not. He's one of my faves. I don't care what you say. I've loved watching Shelton ever since he hung the phone up. Couple years, I love it. I love what Shelton does. He is so fun to watch. Big serve, big attitude. I love it. 2-1 from Mboko. As with a final from Mboko, that goes out and it's love 15. Hashanov, by the way, does have his a little bit of a strapping on his leg. We'll see if that makes any difference. All right, forehand to forehand rally here as Osaka goes to forehand of Mboko. Mboko in the net. Love 30. And Mboko again. I feel like she might be thinking, hey, if Osaka gets out of this, I know she's only 18 and she's only just getting started, but she probably has a bit of an idea of what's going on right now. Like going, okay, my opponent is not feeling the best. She's definitely not feeling like she can win this match, Osaka. She's definitely not reacting like she wants to win this match. It's my time to win. And Mboko is probably feeling that pressure like, this is my opportunity because my opponent is not Does not want to win this match. I'll win it. That's a lot of pressure for her, considering how big this trophy's worth, you know? 15-30. As the return goes into the backhand of Mboko. Backhand now from Osaka in the net. 30-0. As Shelton hits a forehand to the backhand of Khachanov. Into the forehand of Shelton as Khachanov goes in line. Slice from Shelton. Another forehand from Khachanov. A Shelton backhand again. The forehand of Khachanov. Into the backhand of Shelton. And Shelton overhits it. It's 30-15. Chad, does anyone else think that Khachanov... Actually, no, I want to ask you. Chad, who does Khachanov remind you of when he hits the ball on the backhand side especially? He has this very... And just his from a distance, his physique, like his structure, like the way he is built. Does anyone else get a feeling of who he looks like? His forehand obviously has nothing like the guy that I'm thinking of, but doesn't he have like... He just looks like a player from the 2000s. Thor. No. I'm not saying what does he look like, his facial features. I'm saying him... No, he doesn't... Liam Hemsworth doesn't play tennis. Yeah, he looks... His backhand... He hits backhands like Liam Hemsworth. What the fuck are you talking about? Come on. 30-40. Osaka forehand goes in the backhand of Osaka as she hits it down the line of the forehand of Mboko. Forehand from Osaka. Into the backhand of Mboko on the stretch. Osaka backhand down the line. Mboko, good defense. Osaka comes to the net with a forehand in the net. It's deuce. No one is saying the name that I'm thinking. Agassi? Just because he's got his hat backwards doesn't mean he's Leighton Hewitt. Just watch his backhand. And then go watch the 2000 US Open champions backhand and go tell me that they look the same. 1-1. Shelton serves. As Mboko tries to get the 3-1 lead here. As the forehand goes into the forehand of Mboko. Forehand now from Osaka. As Mboko goes down the line. Osaka backhand cross. That's a good shot. And Mboko slicing the net. All right, serve again. Break point for Osaka to get back on serve. Great serve from Mboko out wide. And we get back to deuce. It can't be Safin. It can be Safin. Look at his backhand and you tell me that it doesn't look like Marat Safin. Also, look at his physique. He looks exactly... He's tall and lanky like Safin. By the way, everyone who said Roger Federer, you're trolling, right? How does Khachanov look anything like Roger? That is like the insane comparison. You know, his forehand goes out by Osaka, advantage on Mboko. It's a wild comparison. Kareem Khachanov, he reminds me of Roger Federer. How? In what way? Zero way. There's no way. All right, Shelton 30-15. Well, not lanky, but yeah, he just got the same... He's got that same physique as Safin. Plus the backhand. You look at his backhand, it's Safin-esque. As with a forehand from Mboko, Osaka with the backhand. Again to the forehand from Mboko as Osaka backhand. Cross court, Mboko gets it back. Good defense on Mboko, but Osaka eventually hits a winner. And we get to deuce. That's where I want to see Osaka shout. Hit that backhand and then look at the crowd and be like, shut up. I want to see that. I want to see her just like turn around because midpoint they were getting rowdy. It's like, shut the hell up. I would love Osaka to turn around and just do that. Like, hit that winner and be like, that's right. Shut up. But she's not going to do that because it's not her nature. But again, I would love to see it. I would love to see that. I think it would be healthy for her too. It would help her get out of this situation. Because at the moment, I think she's relying on Mboko's nerves. And I don't know how long that's going to last because Mboko might not be nervous as we think she is. As we return from Osaka into the forehand of Mboko. Forehand from Osaka. Into the forehand of Mboko as Osaka forehand inside out. Mboko gets it back. Osaka forehand goes down the line. Mboko then hits a forehand long. Advantage Osaka. Also, Shelton's 2-1 up. Now advantage Osaka to get back on serve. We've had very much like the second set. 3 breaks in a row. There's a back in return from Osaka. That goes out. Mboko, great serve. Clutch again. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. As Mboko serves again. As a return. Goes out by Osaka. Advantage Mboko. Advantage Mboko. As Mboko serves. A fault. Second serve. As a return from Osaka, the forehand of Mboko. Forehand from Osaka is a winner. Beautiful shot. We get to deuce. And look, it's got to be awkward as well for the coaches, right? Because they're here for the first week, so they don't want to probably try and push her too hard. Thank you, C, for the thank you, C, for the $10. Appreciate that. You know, that Vidorovsky probably doesn't want to push her. You know, and maybe if they'd been working together for 6 months, he might be more like, okay, you know, he's probably observing how she's acting in this moment as something to work on in the future, right? He probably doesn't want to push her and be like, no, you have to do this, and start like, you know, getting too involved, right? Because it is still a trial. This is, you know, they're not working together officially yet. All right, advantage Osaka. You know, he barely knows her, right? He's just learning about her now, you know, at least as a coach. He's probably watched her as a player, but not coached her yet, obviously. And that goes out by Osaka, and it's back to deuce. And Osaka just having a conversation with herself, shaking her head. And she's getting really, now she's looking upset. Not just disinterested. She's looking frustrated that she can't hit winners. She can't get that ball back where she wants it to go. All right, second serve. Into the forehand of Osaka. Mboko backhand as Osaka in the net. Advantage on Mboko to get to 3-1. Advantage on Mboko. Take the 3-1 lead. As the return goes in the forehand of Mboko. Drop shot's too good. 3-1. The crowd are on their feet. They love it. 3-1 on Mboko. And the crowd are going crazy. 3-1. Osaka's got a lot of work to do now. She has to hold serve now. Shelton pushes the volley wide, and it's 2-all in the second. In the first, sorry. All right. Must win game for Osaka here. Because if she goes down a double break 4-1, and the way that the match, like she seems like the match is out of her control right now, and the way she's playing is not going to get her back. I don't think she can come back. And I don't think Mboko is going to get that nervous that she's going to give up 2 breaks of serve. Mboko 3-1 as we're going to return now from Mboko. Osaka forehand at the front of Mboko. As Osaka forehand again at the front of Mboko. In the net from Mboko, and it's 15-love. I'm going to serve. The front of Mboko. Return goes off the tape. Then Osaka backhand. Mboko gets it back. Osaka forehand as Mboko backhand on the stretch. And then Osaka hits a wide. God, Mboko's got great defense too. That's part of the frustration, I think, as well, that Osaka's having to hit 2 or 3 extra shots. Shelton serves an ace 30 love. All right, 15-all. Osaka serves again. Is a fault. Second serve. Serving to the forehand of Mboko. Forehand now from Osaka to the backhand of Mboko. As Osaka backhand again. The backhand of Mboko into the forehand of Osaka. As Mboko forehand. Into the forehand of Osaka. As Mboko goes down the line. Osaka's there with a backhand. Down the line winner. That's a beautiful shot. 30-15. 30-15. Pickleball Pat.
Let's give Mboko some credit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously. 30-15. But I think the story is more about how Osaka is reacting in this moment. 30-15 as Osaka gets out. 30-all. Because Mboko is playing... She's playing all right. I mean, she's not playing outstanding. But it's way more like... The scoreline is mostly because of Osaka. Like, the way that... The way Osaka is in this moment is that's... Right now, that's the way, at least at the start of this third set. By the end of the third set, Mboko serving for the match and her nerves, that'll be a story we'll talk about. But right now, it's all about Osaka because she is struggling. And it's not only because Mboko is playing solid, it's because the reaction to the crowd. Like, that's what's happening. That's the story. Mboko is playing well, you know, she's holding her nerve, which is great. But again, it's all about Osaka right now because this match is based. It's based on how she's been. As Osaka goes down the line, the forehand of Mboko. Osaka with a forehand down the line. Mboko, great defense again. As Osaka forehand again, Mboko gets it on the stretch. As Osaka forehand down the line goes into the back of Mboko. Into the back of Osaka as Mboko forehand on the stretch. Osaka in control, but hits it wide. And again, great defense on Mboko. She's just getting it back, and Osaka makes the error. And it's deuce. Huge game here. Has to win. You can say that about every Mboko win. No, Mboko didn't beat Raducanu because Raducanu got nervous and hated the crowd. Raducanu even admitted it, that Mboko served very well to get out of that match and win that match. In the tiebreak especially. As Osaka gets a lovely winner, it's advantage Osaka. And Coco didn't play that badly against Mboko compared to what she was. Gauff played way worse against Collins and Kudermetova than Mboko. So Mboko beating Gauff, the way she beat Gauff was all Mboko. That had nothing to do with Coco. Gauff didn't serve as many double faults as she did the first 2 matches this week. It was much like that was all about. That was all on Mboko. She gets 100% credit for that Coco win. But here it's like, I mean, to ignore how Osaka is being in this moment would be a lie. Like, if I was just like, oh, Mboka's playing great. Yeah, Osaka's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's going on with Osaka. She's totally normal. That would not be true because Osaka is clearly struggling with what's going on. All right, deuce. There's a bit of fault second serve. Again, this is the most important game of the match for Osaka. She's got to hold. As Mboko returns into the forehand of Osaka, Mboko forehand again, the forehand of Osaka on the stretch. Mboko hitting the ball very deep in the court. Osaka thinking it was out, but it was in. Now she hits back on the stretch. Osaka, and Mboko comes in. But the ball goes out, so Osaka unable to win the point again. Advantage on Mboko for a double break. Advantage on Mboko to take a 4-1 lead in the final set. Osaka serves a fault. Serving to the forehand of Mboko, return into the forehand of Osaka. Mboko forehand. Again, the forehand of Osaka is Mboko. Down the line, Osaka's there with the backhand. Mboko forehand, inside out, great shot. Osaka gets it back. Into the forehand of Mboko, Osaka backhand again, Mboko in control. Osaka forehand again to the forehand of Mboko down the line. Osaka backhand on the stretch, goes out, double break. And the crowd are going nuts. I don't think Mboko's going to get this nervous that she's going to lose this match now. Osaka's going to have to change something. That's the only way this doesn't go to Mboko. She might get nervous and lose a break. She might double fold and, give back one of the breaks. I don't think Mboko's giving back both breaks unless Osaka takes it out of her hands. I have to disagree. Coco played badly. Yes, the first two matches still quite badly. Coco played way worse in the first two matches. She played better against Mboko than she had. I'm not saying Coco played as well as she did at the French Open final. I'm just saying that Coco played... Coco's best match this week was against Mboko based on errors and double faults and that, but Mboko played really well against Coco. She was playing super aggressive and she knew that Coco wasn't playing well, that it was an opportunity. She took it. I'm not saying Gauff played well against Mboko. I'm saying she played better than she did all week, but it's still not good enough to beat this lady who's been playing great. All right, Mboko, double break, 4-1. And this is I don't think Mboko's not going to lose this match. Unless Osaka switches it on, Mboko will win. Osaka has to change something going on with her. Because Mboko won't get nervous twice, I don't think. She doesn't even look nervous now. She looks totally fine. She might not even give back one of the breaks, By the way, Shelton and Hashanova, no, we're not watching. We are watching that, but we're not watching that. But it's 3-3. All right, Mboko to serve. 4-1. 2 games away from a massive trophy. She serves a fault second serve. Serve to the front of Osaka. Return. Into the back of Mboko. She overhits it. Love 15. As an athlete, it's distasteful playing with the crowd that doesn't respect the game. It's called sports. That's what happens. 4-1 winner from Mboko, 15-0. It's totally, you think that Man City go to Man United and expect them to get praised? This is what we're talking about here. This is as close as, this is called home ground advantage. You go to Canada, you play a Canadian. What do you expect? Them to give you flowers? You're not going to get shit. Just like when you go to America, you play Americans. You go to France, you play French people. What do you mean? The crowd are reacting to the player that they want to win, which is the majority of the crowd want the local to win. It's sports. Home ground advantage. That's what it's called. That's why it's called home ground. That's why it's an advantage, right? 40-15 on Mboko, serving great. She looks like she's won 10 of these right now. Serve. Into the front of Osaka. Return the forward of Mboko. Osaka backhand. Into the backhand of Mboko. Mboko on the net. 40-30. 40-30. As Mboko serves again to go to 5-1. Shelton in trouble, by the way. Deuce. As Mboko backhand. Oh, that was a very late call by Hawkeye. Everyone thought it was in. And then Hawkeye said, actually, sorry, it was actually out. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow today. I'm a little bit delayed. My bad. That was it was like at least a good second afterwards. All right, return goes to the net. Good serving, though, on Mboko. All right, advantage on Mboko to go to 5-1. To go to 5-1. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As Osaka too strong on the return. We get back to deuce. As Mboko serves to Osaka. And ace down the tee. Clutch. Advantage on Mboko. 2 hours played in this final. Also, Hashnov's got a breakpoint advantage. All right, serve again. Into the backhand of Osaka. Return goes backhand of Mboko. Osaka backhand into the front of Mboko. Again to the front of Osaka, who hits it in the net. 5-1. All right. Mboko is one game away from lifting the trophy. Huge moment. A new superstar, chat. A new superstar is one game away from basically just winning the trophy that one of the biggest trophies on the planet. By the way, Hashnell breaks. He's up 4-3 against Shelton. As Osaka hits a win up 15-love. Also, I think if Mboko wins this match, she's seeded at the US Open. It'll be very hard for her not to be seeded. As the return goes to the backhand of Osaka, backhand from Mboko on the stretch. Osaka forehand cross. Mboko gets it. Osaka forehand down the line. Goes long, 15-0. And I'll tell you the difference. There's two differences that have happened since the first set, right? One, the crowd's gotten way more involved, which has definitely affected Osaka. But Mboko has also realized, if I just get the ball back, I don't have to try and go for winners. I can just play a bit more defensive. You're going to make errors. And that's what's kind of worked in this final set, is that Mboko hasn't really been hitting winners. And yeah, she's been serving great. But she's just been getting the ball back because she knows that Osaka is just making errors. If you get the ball back, you're going to eventually miss. So I'm just going to keep giving you shots. Keep going. All right. Ace from Osaka, 40-15. Osaka serves. A fault. Second serve. Yeah, Mboko, I think, is like, we'll find, is he like top 25? As the return goes into the front of Osaka. Mboko forehand again, the front of Osaka. Into the front of Mboko. Osaka forehand, cross court. That's a great shot. Mboko gets it back. And Osaka comes in with a drop shot. And Mboko got it, did she know? No, Osaka thought it was a double bounce. Osaka just let it go. Osaka walked away before the second bounce. And Mboko hit the winner. That was, Mboko got that. That didn't double bounce. Ooh, I think she got it. I'm pretty sure she got it. Osaka walked away like it was a double bounce. That just shows where, it was in, and Mboko got it. 40-30. That's just such telling to see where Osaka's thinking right now. Osaka 4 on the stretch, Mboko backhand. In the back of Osaka, still 40-30. As Osaka 4 cross court, Mboko gets it back, hits a winner down the line. We get to deuce. 2 points away. Osaka, by the way, needs to slow down. She is rushing through this. And Mboko's not even ready. She's like, hang on a second, wait a second, I'm not ready to win this yet. Osaka's playing too quick. She doesn't want to be here. She doesn't care. She doesn't want to fight back. She just wants it to end. Serve. There's a fault. Second serve. And the crowd go wild. First serve in the net, and you would have thought it was a winner. Second serve. Into the forward of Mboko. Return goes in the forward of Osaka. She hits it out. Match point. Championship point. For Victoria Mboko, the 18-year-old from Canada. The wild card. Who's come through against some of the best players on the planet. It'll be her third Grand Slam champion, victory against a champion of a Grand Slam this week. She beat Gauff, she beat Raducanu, and she's got championship points. Serve goes in the front of Mboko to the back of Osaka. That's in the net, and Mboko wins. Mboko gets the win, and she falls to the floor. It's going to be tough for Osaka to make a runner-up speech. We'll find out what happens. But Mboko is her moment. What a win. What a win. Chat, 2025 WTA is fire. The WTA is just on fire. Not only are we getting the best players on the planet consistently playing each other, except for at Wimbledon, but we're also getting a bunch of young players putting their hand up as well. At the biggest tournaments, right? We're getting all these new players as well. Just when we thought, we love, we got Sabalenka, Swiatek, Gauff, okay, cool. Raducanu, Zhang's been playing well, in the last couple of years. Pegula, Keys. But now we've got Mboko added to the list. Obviously, Eala, she's been up and down, not as good as Mboko. This is the youngest player. This is the best young player of the year. Joint has come real good this year as well, winning a couple of titles. There's all these new young players as well. Obviously, we knew Andreeva was going to be great. But we're getting so many, just new faces too, and young faces that are just stopping these players. Are we sort of in that, what 2022 was with Sinner and Alcaraz? Is that where we are? Are we in that kind of just when we thought it was Medvedev and Zverev's turn, these new guys came out of nowhere, Runa, and started taking these titles? Is that what we're watching? Is Mboko one of those players that's going to stop Sabalenka and Swiatek from winning more when we think it's their tour right now? I don't know. Is Mboko going to stop Gauff from winning more than we think she's going to win, right? Great to see. She's a fun player to watch too. Mboko's got a good game to watch. She's got a great game to watch. GG's. 30-all, by the way. Hashanov, he has the break against Shelton. As Mboko. Hashanov hits it wide, and Shelton's got a break point 30-40. Beating Wait, was it 4 Grand Slam champions? Who did I miss? Who else did she play this week? Did she beat Ostapenko or something? Did I miss that? Hang on. Who else did Mboko beat? Mboko beat Raducanu, Osaka, Gauff. Who else did she beat? Did I miss one? Oh, Kenin! 4 Grand Slam champions! She smoked Kenin in the second round. I forgot about that. Wow. 4 Grand Slam. That is ridiculous. 4 Grand Slam champions to win one of the biggest trophies on the planet. That's impressive. She's the real deal. And I tell you, chat, nerves of steel at the end there. There were no nerves. She was not She did not get nervous at all at the end there. She was nervous in the second set, but she did not get nervous in the end. She was so solid. Now, can she play next week? We'll find out. She's going to go straight to Cincinnati and try and play that. But, man, what a run. What a run. And what a result. Another player to add to the list of players to... she's not going to be unseeded at the US Open. So that dangerous unseeded, unseeded thing is not going to be a thing. But she still doesn't... Nobody wants to play her in a third round, All right, Hashanov holds 5-3 Shelton. We're going to merge the streams in a second, but... what a win. So on Mboko's ranking, that's a great question. So both these ladies get a boost. They both get a boost. Both will be seeded at the US Open at this stage. And it'll be very, very unlikely that they're not going to get seeded. So Osaka's 24 in the world and Mboko is 25. So well in that bracket of being seeded. They are in that situation. Yeah, what a win. What a win. All right. Let's merge the streams to make it easy for everybody. Because Hashanov is about to take the first set. And we talk all about Osaka, but we saw it, right? We literally watched it. We watched what happened with Osaka and how, and how things went. And we know why they went that way. It's a little bit. We know what happened with Osaka, but Mboko holding her nerve at the end there and not giving Osaka a chance to come back, not giving errors. And maybe Osaka expected more errors. Maybe that's what Osaka was waiting for. Maybe she was sitting there waiting for these errors, waiting for this, waiting for some nerves from the youngster, but they didn't come. And Osaka, even though she will be seated at the US Open at this rate, goes down. Mboko wins 3 sets. She lifts the biggest trophy of her career so far, and she is very impressive. All right.